just going to ask, like that transition from, from say the mid 2000s, you'd spent a decade within sport and obviously got to know the industry really well. I guess, when was the first time that you were introduced to the technical side of sport? Or simple as building a website. Like how did you get involved, and how did you get started in the sport tech space?
Yeah, I guess probably in around, I've obviously had a look at, a lot of the sports analytics conferences that started up, 5 or 6 years ago. And we're kind of following those closely, because I felt, Australia's had a great past with sports science and sports tech initially through the AS and kind of the companies that have spun out of that. And I guess we haven't really leveraged sports tech and sports science really well in football. We're quite a conservative sport, and coaches are even more conservative. But always looking. There are people that are always looking for that extra edge. How can they try things? How can they implement things that can improve their teams and the performance of their players? So I guess that's where I was continually one of those coaches that were looking for things that could help improve my players or improve the coaches that I was working with.
Cool. Okay. And in terms of the tech side, you alluded to, if you knew how hard it was, you probably would have done it differently. What were the sort of initial key challenges that came about?
Yeah, I guess both myself and my co-founder Kogu, we were from a non-tech co-founder background. So initially hired a football media company. So the producers of the daily football show, Podular Media, they actually helped develop the first version of our platform, so our MVP. So we wanted someone with some knowledge of basic, website that we wanted, what we thought was basic, but with some football knowledge and branding, and positioned it as an authentic, football company. We've always had a mission of being a football first company and a coach first company. So we want to develop stuff for football to improve the ecosystem and to improve, things for coaches. It's not just about developing and running a business. If you can't improve the ecosystem, then for me as a coach and someone who's been involved in coach education, that's kind of where my passion is. So starting up a business, I wanted to maintain that kind of passion as well.
Cool. And how's the product evolved over the last 3 or so years?
Yeah, so since that, we found, because we'd used a third-party booking and scheduling and payment software and kind of hacked that together, we found as soon as we started, scaling from 30 original coaches to over 200 at multiple locations, different states, different types of sessions, it started to slow down on a WordPress platform. So we then searched for a developer that we could kind of bring in-house who had experience in marketplaces before, preferably sports marketplaces. So we ended up finding one, and we ended up hiring her full-time for over a year. So she developed a custom-built WordPress site with integrated pretty much everything there to enable us to scale pretty quickly up to several thousand coaches and several thousand players. So we actually managed quite a few thousand bookings through those versions of the platform. And I guess over that time, she became involved in the business as well as an external founder, and we found a local CTO as well mid last year. So we ended up bringing him on board, and he's been great. And then we realized, the WordPress website's probably not great for scaling a company globally. So, by that time we'd been through a few different accelerator programs and decided to switch across to a Laravel framework, which has really helped to speed up our platform and improve the customer experience.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. And I guess, it's funny when we have these conversations, you look back on the 3 years and you tell the story. But if you just go back to the hurdle of realizing that the site's not coping with the demand and having to find a technical co-founder and sort of building that up from scratch again, when you were at that stage, given obviously you're an Australian-based company, who did you go to for advice, or where did you start looking to find that technical person to work on your product?
Yeah, I guess just anywhere and everywhere. Talking to as many people as possible, and then and trying to educate yourself around even the types of questions to ask a developer. Coming from a non-tech co-founder, what do you want it? Do you want it built on WordPress still, or do you want it built on Ruby, or do you want it built on a different with different code? And so starting to ask those questions, and then what do you have if you've built out a basic wireframe or prototype to show them, or would you need them to do the whole thing? And then going into the UX and design side of things as well. So I guess having a better understanding of that, and that's helped us really manage the projects a lot better as well. So that's definitely been a big learning experience over the 2.5 years.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to check out more of our content, go to sporttechdaily.com or follow us on social media across Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram.